All right, so what I've got for you all today is going to be my top 10 list of my most mass appealing fragrances that I have in my collection. So these are going to be fragrances that, for the most part, there's not going to be too many people who are not going to enjoy the smell of these fragrances. So these are definitely the ones that, you would kind of want to wear when you're looking to get compliments, when you're looking just for something that's pretty easy to wear and that is going to be accepted by most people for the most part. All right, so just to get the list started off here, I'm going to start off with a fragrance that I don't talk about that much on the channel, but this is definitely one of my favorites still in my collection. This is from Alexandria Fragrances, and this is Alexandria Fragrances Homme Classique. So Homme Classique is their take on YSL's La Nuit de l'Homme, I believe, or no, not La Nuit de l'Homme, YSL L'Homme. So YSL L'Homme is absolutely one of my favorite, scent profiles. It is definitely a slightly kind of older scent profile and one that doesn't really get talked about a lot, but it is absolutely one of my favorite, man. It definitely kind of gets classified as more of like a fall time sort of scent. To me, this is definitely a scent that you can kind of wear all year round, especially if you're in climate control environments. Now, obviously in the winter time, it's not necessarily going to do the best because it isn't really like a super beast mode projecting sort of fragrance. But, at least Alexandria's version, it does perform pretty well, especially after it's maturated. And this is just like a mixture of really bright citruses up top. You get some ginger, I believe, in this fragrance. It does have a very kind of woody sort of feel to it as well. And also it does come off as slightly floral. But overall, man, I do definitely prefer like the YSL L'Homme DNA over like the La Nuit de l'Homme. This one just always was more so kind of like more my speed. I do also enjoy the La Nuit de l'Homme scent profile, but YSL L'Homme, that is to me one of my favorite scent profiles overall. And Alexandria definitely did a good job with Homme Classique. So this does last a pretty decent amount of time as well. You're easily going to get over 8 hours with this. And the projection is like, I would say at the very best, moderate or so for like the first hour and a half or so. So don't expect this to really, project super strongly. It does project a little bit better when it's warmer outside for sure, but it's not really going to be something that's going to, really push out and grab people. So again, check out Homme Classique from Alexandria Fragrances. Next one on the list, this one is from Lattafa, and this is Lattafa's The Kingdom. So The Kingdom is their take on Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir. And this is a very good interpretation of that fragrance. I would say, at least about 95% close or so to that fragrance. About 92 to 95% or so. And this is, to me, it's slightly better, at least in my opinion, in terms of the way that the smell comes off. The mint that you get in Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir, to me, is just a little bit too much, at least, for my sort of liking. This seems to be, kind of smoothened out, in terms of how that mint comes across. It's a really nice balance between like the mint and the lavender that you get in the initial opening that gives you that kind of Le Male, scent profile. So I really like this one. The vanilla in this is also very good as well. You get, a really heavy dose of tonka bean in the dry down, a little bit of tobacco, I believe, as well. Just a very, very nice scent, man. I initially wasn't like that crazy about this scent, but when you wear this or when you smell it in the air, it really does smell amazing. And to me, this is definitely, it's good for about every season. I wouldn't necessarily reach for this one in the summertime, but I think fall, winter, and spring, this is definitely a really good scent to wear, man. Also, performance on this is very good as well. Easily right now I'm getting like over 8 to 10 hours or so. And then as far as the projection goes, at least for me anyway, Lamar Elixir projects a little bit better than what this does, at least on my skin. But this is still a very like kind of beast mode sort of projecting fragrance for sure. So definitely the performance on this is not going to be an issue. And the price on this is very good, man. I think typically you can normally find this for around $30 to $40 or so on most websites. And this is a 100 ml bottle. So absolutely check out Lattafa's The Kingdom. Next up is going to be just overall the Bleu De Chanel scent profile. So what I have is Bleu De Chanel Parfum as well as the Eau de Parfum. I don't have a bottle of just the regular EDT. But I would say, any one of the Bleu De Chanel, scent profiles, whether it's the EDT, the EDP, or the Parfum, is going to be another one of those really mass appealing, really easy to wear, compliment getting fragrances. This, sort of line, the Bleu De Chanel line, is kind of what started off the whole blue fragrance sort of trend within the fragrance community. And this to me is definitely one of the best. It definitely has that sort of, Chanel refinement that you get from a house like Chanel. Even though like Chanel is like a designer fragrance company, you definitely can tell that, their quality seems to be definitely a little bit higher than most other sort of designer fragrance houses. Probably, I would say, the fragrance, the designer fragrance house that definitely has higher quality than them would be something like, Louis Vuitton. But even though Louis Vuitton fragrances are still considered to be designer, they're definitely more so kind of like on the niche side for the most part. I don't really think most of their fragrances really smell like designer sort of fragrances. But anyway, man, going back to Bleu De Chanel, this is definitely an amazing, scent profile. You would definitely want to go with Bleu De Chanel EDP if you want the more, stronger projecting scent. And, the slightly more kind of brighter, citrusier, type of scent. Whereas with the Parfum version, this is going to be a little bit darker, a little bit woodier and more sort of closer to your skin. Both are definitely going to last pretty long for sure, but you're absolutely going to notice the EDP a lot more. So, if you're looking to kind of get other people's attention, then I would definitely say you would want to go with the EDP. Whereas, if you're kind of more so just like in a close encounter situation and you don't want to blow the other person's nose out, then that's when you would kind of reach for the Parfum. All right. Again, performance on these are really good. I easily get, at least 8 hours or so with both fragrances. And again, the projection on the EDP is just definitely going to be at least twice as much as what it is with the Parfum. So definitely check out the Bleu De Chanel scent profile for sure. Next one on the list is going to be from French Avenue, and this is their take on by Kilian's Angel Share, and this is Royal Blend. So for me, this is like a replacement for Angel Share, at least for me anyway. This is like extremely close, almost identical to Angel Share. And it gives better performance, in terms of at least how it projects on my skin. This projects stronger than what Angel Share does. And it projects a little bit longer, I'm noticing, than what Angel Share does. So this is very, very good, man. I really, really recommend this one. If you can find it. I know here recently, this one has been sold out everywhere after, it had been available on just about every website for several months. So who knows, when this is going to come back into stock. I know with a lot of the really, really good Fragrance World fragrances, what normally ends up happening is they get released, they, are out for a little while. And once that supply gets bought up, sometimes they kind of stay unavailable for 6, 8 months, you know, over a year sometimes. So I don't know if that's going to be the case with Royal Blend, but if it is, then you'll want to hold on to your bottle if you have one, or if you're, you know, searching for a bottle of this, you'll definitely want to be on the lookout and scoop this up as soon as you can. Like I said, this definitely is the best Angel Share interpretation that I've smelled. Like I said, almost identical to it. It has better performance in terms of the longevity and the projection. And just overall, man, it's super high quality. It really is, man. So if you're looking for, you know, in my opinion, the best sort of Angel Share interpretation from like a Middle Eastern house, then I would absolutely recommend picking up Royal Blend from French Avenue. All right, next one. This is going to be easily, you know, my most complimented scent profile within my, you know, whole collection. And this is going to be Versace's Hawas. Right here, I have the Hawas Ice. I would say really, it doesn't matter if it's the original Hawas or if it's Hawas Ice. Either way, this is going to be a very mass appealing, compliment getting, just really likable fragrance. In both Hawas Ice and Hawas, you can wear all year round. These are definitely fragrances that are strong enough to where, you know, they have enough push for you to be able to wear this as, you know, kind of like a freshy aquatic style fragrance, even in the winter time. But at least for me anyway, the scent profile in general between Hawas and Hawas Ice, it smells the best in my opinion when it's really hot outside. So I tend to, you know, mostly wear this scent profile in the summertime when it's, you know, 90, 100 plus degrees. That's normally when I like to wear this. And it's normally, you know, it comes off of my skin smelling the best during that time. Now, you can still wear this during the winter time and still get all day long in terms of the longevity. And even when it comes to the projection, this is still definitely going to project just as strong as it does. I would say almost as strong as it does in the summertime. It definitely in the summertime projects the best, but this is still going to project much better than most other kind of aquatic style freshy type scents that, you know, you would wear in the winter. This is definitely going to outperform those. Now, this one definitely, it has a slightly sort of different, you know, edge to it than what the original Hawas does. To me, this comes off as a little bit more sort of minty and slightly sharper. The original Hawas, that it kind of has a little bit more like Middle Eastern sort of spice, you know, with like the cinnamon note that you get in that fragrance. I think that's definitely a little bit more prominent. And I believe the fruity note that you get in the original Hawas is like plum. I can't remember if this has plum in it as well, but I do know this also has, you know, other sort of lighter sort of citruses. So, I mean, altogether, this is going to smell about like 80%, you know, the same as what the original Hawas does. But it does have a slightly more kind of updated sort of smell to it. So this is the one that I just chose to keep. It didn't really make sense for me to keep both the original Hawas and this one. So I would say, you know, right now the price on this has definitely gone down and it is, you know, more affordable. It's not being sold for like $100+ anymore. Believe it normally goes for like around 50 to 60 now. So, you know, if you're looking between, you know, getting like the original Hawas and then this one, I would just recommend getting this one since it's the more updated version. And like I said, it does smell, you know, about the same, about 80% the same as what the original does. But it does smell slightly better, just overall, in my opinion, and more updated. So definitely, man, Hawas Ice or even the original Hawas, I would say, are definitely fragrances that you want to have in your collection if you're looking for just, you know, compliments, performance, as well as just overall mass appeal, man. Definitely check out Hawas Ice. Next on the list is going to be the sort of Creed Aventus or Absolute Aventus scent profile. And what I have here is going to be two interpretations of that. One is going to be Armaf's Club de Nuit Precieux, and then the other is Game of Spades High Roller from Joe Milano. So I have these both on the list here because it's going to depend on, kind of what you want. So if you want a slightly more, you could say fruitier, maybe a little bit more sort of youthful, and I guess you could say slightly more kind of mass appealing sort of version of the fragrance, then you would want to go with the Armaf version. This also has, definitely it has a more concentrated smell to it, more richer smell, with this one being an extrait de parfum. If you're looking for just more of sort of like a more accurate sort of take on Absolute Aventus, then that's when I would recommend Game of Spades High Roller. Now, at least in the opening of this one, it does have some slight differences. I do think that the Creed does come off, smelling a little bit better than what this one does in the initial opening. But like once you get past probably like the first 20 to 30 minutes or so, that's when this one really starts smelling, almost exactly like Absolute Aventus. Absolute Aventus is definitely, that's a scent profile that I do prefer over the original Aventus. It is, slightly darker. It doesn't have as much, kind of smoke as what the original Aventus does, or, sort of birchy smell to it. It does kind of have more of sort of like I guess you could say almost like a damp, sort of earthy sort of feel to it. But it does incorporate like a lot of spices, some fruity notes as well. I just think overall, this is definitely a scent profile. It's a well-needed update to the Aventus scent profile. Now, overall, I think I would say that the Aventus Cologne scent profile is going to be my favorite in terms of Aventus, but this is going to be right behind it for sure. Again, if you're looking for something that is slightly fruitier, a little bit more denser, I guess you could say, and that actually performs, a lot better, then I would say go with the Armaf Club de Nuit Precieux. If you're looking for something that also performs better than the original, but is slightly more truer to what the original smell is, then you would want to go with the Game of Spades High Roller. Both of these are going to last at least 8 hours. This is definitely going to last longer. I easily get like 10 to 12 hours with this one. This is going to be more kind of like around that 8 to 10 hour mark. But again, this Club de Nuit Precieux, the projection on this is going to be, a little bit better than what you get with the High Roller. But even with the High Roller, this is going to project and last, a little bit longer and a little bit better than what you get with the original Creed. So definitely check these two out if you like Creed Aventus or Creed Absolute Aventus and you're looking for that scent profile. I think just overall, this is a very mass appealing, scent profile. So check these out. Next one is going to be another one from Alexandria Fragrances. And this to me is one of their best, Louis Vuitton inspired fragrances that they have. This is Alexandria Fragrances Orchestra. So this is their take on the almost $600 Louis Vuitton Symphony. So this comes about 90+% close for the most part to Symphony. And what makes this one so worth it, in my opinion, is, again, Symphony is, I don't know if the prices for the extrait fragrances from Louis Vuitton have changed or not recently, but I know the last time that I checked, those fragrances were going for $560, plus taxes and stuff like that. So out the door, you're going to end up paying like around $600 for that fragrance for 100 ml. Whereas with Orchestra, you pay like around 120, 110 or so with discount, and you're going to get at least 90% close to like the original fragrance. That to me makes this one a lot more worth picking up than, the original Symphony. This also performs, in my opinion, just as good as what Symphony does. This, even though it's a very sort of citrusy, fruity, slightly kind of floral type of scent, it still has, really, really good density to it. So this is not going to be a fragrance that, you would necessarily need to spray like 10 plus times. Like normally whenever I wear this one, I think I normally don't go over like 5 to 7 sprays or so. And even with that, it screams off of you. This is definitely a fragrance that you can wear all year round because of the fact that it does come off as such a dense sort of citrusy floral scent. And overall, man, I don't think there's anyone that would smell this and not think that this smells amazing. It does smell kind of simplistic, I guess you could say, but at the same time, again, it smells absolutely amazing. It's just a mixture of, I believe, like bergamot, grapefruit, ginger. I don't necessarily remember what the florals are in this scent, but it really comes off as one of the best sort of, citrus forward scents that you can purchase. And like I said, Alexandria's version comes extremely close to this. This easily lasts on me over 12 hours, and it projects like a beast, at least for like the first, 2.5, almost 3 hours or so. So this is very strong. This is only a 30 ml, but this is gonna last me quite a while because I don't necessarily wear this scent profile every day. And when I do, like I said, I only wear maybe, 5 to 7 sprays of it. So that's really all you need. I absolutely would recommend picking up Alexandria Fragrances Orchestra. All right, next one is going to be from the house of Byredo, and this is Byredo's Bal D'Afrique. And this is, again, another one of those really mass appealing, easy to wear, just super compliment getting sort of fragrances. It has like this kind of like lemon lime fizzy sort of feel to it when you first spray it on. Lemon lime, black currant. And then, as it starts to dry down, it does start to get a little bit dry and kind of earthy with like the vetiver that you get from this scent, but it still maintains that sort of sweet, kind of fizzy sort of feel that you get from the opening. I know I've seen some people say that this doesn't last on them. This lasts on me like very good. I get at least like 8 hours or so every time I wear this fragrance. And typically whenever I wear it, it's always going to be in the summertime when it's really hot outside. So I'm not really sure why other people don't get good performance out of this, but this really does last on me. This is definitely going to be one of the lesser kind of versatile scents on this particular list. At least for me anyway, I think this is going to strictly be kind of like for late spring and, summer for the most part. I don't really wear this in like the fall or the winter because it's just, to me, not that type of scent profile. This is one that I, again, absolutely wear, in the summertime when it's really hot and you just want something, really refreshing, bright and uplifting. This is definitely going to be that type of scent. There is a really good interpretation from Paris Corner of this called Vibrant Vetiver Delight. It does come pretty close to it. The black currant, I feel like in that fragrance is not as good as what it is in this. And also the vetiver is a little bit stronger in that fragrance than what it is in this. But overall, it is a pretty good interpretation. So if you're not looking to spend the Byredo price to get the original, then I would recommend the Vibrant Vetiver Delight from Paris Corner. But if you are really in love with just the original, then I do think that this is worth it, man. So definitely, again, check out Byredo's Bal D'Afrique. Next one on the list, this one, I don't know, it seems like this one gets a lot of hate, but I feel like when most people smell this in the air, they really do appreciate the way that this smells. And this one is Louis Vuitton's Imagination. Now, I think the reason why this fragrance gets as much hate as what it gets is because it's from Louis Vuitton and it has a pretty high price to actually buy it. And also, this is not one you can get from any sort of discount or anything like that. I think if you could buy bottles of Louis Vuitton's Imagination for like $150, I think that this probably wouldn't get as much hate as what it gets. I don't think anyone can necessarily smell this and think that this doesn't smell good, especially when you smell it in the air. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I first initially smelled the Louis Vuitton scent profile, I wasn't like super in love with it, but I didn't think that, it was like super basic or anything like that, or I didn't hate it. Definitely as you continue to wear this fragrance, I think that's when you really start to fall in love with it. At least for me anyway, it just is the type of scent that I really enjoy. So, it starts off with like this really bright, but, yet at the same time, kind of tart, watery citruses. You get like this really sort of soft and smooth neroli in the fragrance as well. And then as you start to get into the dry down, you get this really amazing mixture of like black tea, cinnamon, and ginger. It's really, really nice, man. This fragrance just overall to me is like my favorite. It's my favorite scent profile, my favorite, fragrance. So I know at one time Creed Aventus was like the king of fragrances. At least in my opinion anyway, right now, I feel like the Louis Vuitton Imagination is like the king of fragrances right now. This also lasts pretty well on me as well. I easily get over, 10 to 12 hours every time I wear this. And the projection is moderate, I guess you could say, for normally like around the first hour and a half to 2 hours or so. And then it does start to get, closer to your skin. But at least on me anyway, it does last a pretty long time. If you're looking for something that's slightly denser and that projects a little bit more than what this does, then I would say you would want to go with something like Joe Milano's Game of Spades Full House. But if you're looking for just that, Louis Vuitton refinement, the blend quality, then you have to kind of go with the original. And again, this is Louis Vuitton's Imagination. And then the last one on the list, this is like one of those classic fragrances that I think, most people will always sort of respect. This is also from another designer house. This is from Dolce & Gabbana. This is Dolce & Gabbana's the One EDP. So the One EDP, this is one of the most respected or one of the best all-time sort of, date night style fragrances. So this is like a really nice mixture of, cardamom, amber, tobacco. It comes off really, really smooth, almost kind of slightly boozy, you could kind of say. I think there is also like a slightly sort of leathery feel that you get from this fragrance as well. It's just a very nice, masculine, smooth, date night style fragrance. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily get the best performance out of this. At least like my first bottle that I had of this fragrance, it seemed like after about 4.5 to 5 hours or so, it was completely gone. Now, at least with this bottle that I bought, I don't know if they've like secretly reformulated this to make it stronger, but every time I wear this now, I easily get, 7+ hours or so. And, definitely a little bit better projection every time that I wear this now. So I definitely am a fan of this scent profile. I need to get a bottle of the EDT as well, because I do like the way that the EDT smells also. And I probably need to just pick that up before they like completely discontinue that. And you know, the price where it goes through the roof. But this is another one of those fragrances that, again, is going to be super mass appealing. I don't think I've met anybody that didn't like the way that Dolce & Gabbana, the One EDP, smelled. And it is going to be just, you know, a really nice kind of cozy, you know, personal sort of scent profile that you can wear. It's not necessarily going to, you know, like really push out and like grab people's attention. It is going to be something that people are going to have to be a little bit closer to you to really smell. But once they do smell it, they are going to love the way that this smells. It does smell very kind of gentlemanly, warm, sexy. Just overall, man, it's a very, very nice scent profile, and definitely one that I intend to keep in my collection. So again, man, check out Dolce & Gabbana's The One EDP. And that's the list, man. That is my list of my top 10 scent, mass appealing scent profiles that I have in my collection. Definitely let me know what you all thought about the video. Let me know if you all have any or all of these fragrances, and if so, do you agree, man? Are these some of the more mass appealing scents that you have in your collection? And are they, you know, the fragrances that you reach for, you know, more than the others for the most part? All right. Also, I'll have links in the description to where you can purchase all of these fragrances as long as they're still available. And also, if you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. And again, that's Jamar from Vegas Scents. I'll see you all in the next video.